just noticed I've been on the wrong mic this whole time. You probably didn't hear a word I was saying. Probably not. Probably not. Right. So, introduction again. We're in season 7 of my UKGPL replays. And I'm in Division 3, coming up from Division 5. So I started in Season 3. It's now Season 7. I've got promoted all the way up to Division 3. Will what be 2003. And we've done the first 2 rounds, as you saw on the screen. So we did Watkins Glen, we did Mexico, and we did Kyalami. And you saw the results. So a couple of good, solid rounds at the start, but Kyalami, for whatever reason, this seems to be my bogey track. I can never seem to be able to have a good run there. So we're going to do the last 3 rounds of this season, which are rounds 4, 5, and 8. I miss, for some reason, round 6 and 7. I don't know what I was doing at that time, but apparently I miss rounds 6 and 7. And we're into Monaco. Now, I've never gone well at Monaco, so who knows what's going to happen. Who knows? But at least we're using the right microphone this time. So you'll be able to hear what I'm saying. So it looks like we are 3rd on the grid. This is unheard of. Why would I be 3rd on the grid? So I'm going to run through the grid in a minute. Well, I think that's as best as we're going to get, isn't it? Right, so supposedly I think that's Jonathan Ball on pole in a Ferrari, and then we've got Graham Horton in 2nd, and then we've got me in a Cooper in 3rd. Just in time, Ben. You might have noticed when you look at the VOD that my whole intro was scrubbed because I was using the wrong microphone. So if it picked up anything of my voice, it will be an absolute miracle. But I switched over after realizing, whoopsie daisy. Never mind. So 3rd in the Cooper. Could this be the time that Monaco is good? I'm sure 1.6 yesterday is at hospital. I hope it's nothing bad, Ben. Keith Lorry in 4th in the Cooper. Ralph Mafe in the Brabham. And then we have the Grand Prix Legends. Big gap there. I don't know who's behind me. So, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I think last season we did Monaco and it wasn't that great. So, have I learned from my mistakes? Considering the chastising the moderator gave me in last season for how I treated Monaco, then maybe I have learned. So I don't believe we're going to be doing a pit stop. We're chasing a Ferrari, we're chasing 2 Ferraris that we're going to beat through the pit stops. So we'll see. Oh, there must have been an accident because we're broken free. Interesting. I don't know. You can usually tell when there's been like a little kerfuffle at the start when you've pulled out a little bit of a gap, but So how many times am I going to get caught out by the chicane this time? So we're being followed by Tim Whiting. We're normally followed by Tim Whiting. Oh, we're going for second there. We saw that maybe the track was narrowing, so we thought, nope. So being a bit more conservative. Maybe we have learnt from our mistakes. But maybe that was our only chance to get up the second. But obviously the strategy is just to try and stay with them. Because they're going to lose 20... Oh, hold the brake. Up to second. Up to second. This is unheard of. What's going on? So we got 30 laps at Monaco. I mean, in the scheme of things, you could afford to let that Ferrari by, but you don't have to. We're ruining his strategy at the moment if he wants to get to the lead. So I always kind of hold my breath whenever we're going through there. Scary. I mean, it doesn't matter what iteration of game this layout of Monaco is in. That chicane is always, even in VR, it feels narrow. So it is. It just feels like an afterthought, isn't it? But I don't know how they took it in real life. Whether they just blasted through it or whether they really slowed down. Of course, this is the layout that Bandini had his crash. I think he probably crashed how we have crashed at that chicane. Unfortunately burst into flames. And didn't in the 50s didn't someone crash at the chicane and vault over the hay bales into the harbour? Weirdly, he was fine. I don't know who it was. I haven't actually looked back to see when this layout was actually abandoned, because this is 66, 67. I think it was the late 60s. Oh, Alberto Ascari went into the harbour, that's it. So the fastest lap of a race is a 29.9. I've just done a 129.97. So we're on the pace. So we're feeling racy. Now, normally when things are going well, I'm normally thinking there's something bad is going to happen. I always think things go too well. I mean, it's kind of a pity that no other game really has this classic version of Monaco. Apart from R Factor 2. I mean, there's a version for Assetto Corsa, which is it's probably ripped from R Factor 2, to be honest, but if we've broken away from fourth. Oh, steady on, Tim. Jesus. He hit me right up the rear end there. And his car's phasing around a little as well. He seems to be chasing my back wheels a bit rather than actually racing the circuit, which always makes me nervous. See, he's trying to chance it at the chicane. You just don't do that. Or the hairpin, rather. You just don't do that. He's being way too aggressive. But as I say, I've got track position. I've earned track position. I'm ruining his strategy. So this is it's not slowing me down because I'm still going as fast as possible. I'm not defending at all. He's taking some risks though, isn't he? I have a feeling there's either going to be a collision upcoming, or he's going to take himself out. But Graham has done a faster lap time, but only by about a tenth of a second. I think is that him in the Brabham behind us? No, that's Ralph Mafe. He's caught up to us. Yeah, but you're always tempted to let them go, Ben. You got to think of it as this: you've earned this track position, and track position is key in some cases. And if you give away track position, then you, especially at Monaco, you can hold someone up. You can hold a faster car up. So, I mean, he'll come out of his pit stop and then put in some really fast lap times, maybe, but track position is mine. I mean, the leader is gone. Although me saying that I wasn't getting slowed up, I did. Last lap was a 1:31, but I did get a nudge at the hairpin. So I mean, the leader's not out of touch. Jesus. Something's going to happen, isn't it? He's driving so aggressive. Now maybe Ralph behind can put some pressure on me to take the pressure off me. So remember, this is 2003, so I'm 24 years old. Well, technically I'm 23 years old. I don't think it's been my birthday yet. But 23, 24 years old. Young whippersnapper, indeed. And you can never guarantee that if you do have a collision with somebody. Right, he took himself out. Good. Well, hey! I'm away. I'm glad it wasn't me that got caught up in that. Now don't screw it up. You got second place here. I mean, whether or not I would have been concentrating on getting the hairpin right, or I would have seen a Ferrari coming backwards towards me, I don't know. It looks like this might be one of the other solid drives. It looks like this season there was a blip in Kyalami. But a fourth, a second. Are we heading for a second here? Pretty much making up for season 6, which was the absolute nightmare. Starting like Jarno Trulli going up the pit lane, as the moderator said. We are pitting. So why did I miss something in Kyalami then? Because I didn't pit. I don't think. Maybe the rules were different for Kyalami. I'm confused. Or maybe I forgot to pit a Kyalami and the moderator didn't notice. I don't know. And supposedly I think I'm down to 4th. Now that looks like an Eagle who hasn't pitted, who's 13th. Simon Geimer, who is in 3rd. He's going to be stopping for less than me. I think the Honda stops less than the Cooper. Or does it stop more? I think it stops more, doesn't it? Because it's a faster car. I think the Cooper was the last car in pit stop time, apart from the BRM. I think. Right, so that's the Brabham coming in. Or a Brabham coming in. Right, so we've come back out of ahead of Ralph. Which is good. So you got to think that I'm going to jump the Ferrari if I'm in the 129s. Because he wasn't that far ahead of me. You might be watching. I think the moderator for season 7 is Paul Harrington. I can't remember. Probably without spoiling me on these season standings. Oh, whoa, oh, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. We got away with that. Look at that car control. Was that luck or was that skill? I want to take another look at that. So we get it all wrong coming over the hill. We were so lucky. Wow. We live to fight another day. Yeah, in front of the grandstand. I should have put my hand up as well. Let's see what lap time I did just with that spin as well. A 1:33. Oh, we did lose a bit of time. He gave you a penalty for a bad rejoin, and and there wasn't even any contact. Ah. Oh. Maybe he was a strict moderator. I don't know. Right, so lap 11 of 30. Quite a way to go. So if there was a pit window, then it started quite early. I can't remember how they did their pit windows. I believe you had to pit within a certain number of laps. Right, so is that Simon Geimer, and has he second? So he has to pit and go behind me, surely, because he was nowhere in the top 4. I mean, it's not hard to get Grand Prix Legends up and running now. The only problem is about the problems with full screen and windowed and stuff like that. But loading that utility, what was it, the GPL LPS installer or whatever it's called, it will step through the process. Quite simple. So, are we gaining on the Simon at all? So we're in the 130s now. We're being a bit ragged. It says that Simon did a 137 last time out. But he's in the 129s as well, so he's going to be quite hard to catch if I'm... But he shouldn't be ahead of me, surely. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Honda is the penultimate pit stop time. Maybe the Cooper is above it. I did seem to stop quite a long time, though. Maybe that was just a very long 10 seconds. Entirely sure. I'm up to 3rd now, so I must have passed one of the Ferraris? I mean, I pitted from 2nd, didn't I? Oh, who's that? It's Paul Adams. That's the championship leader in the fence. So we've got Simon Geimer in first, who I think I'm maybe closing on. And then we've got Graham, who was the leader to start off with. So he's down at the hairpin. We're still up at the tunnel. So that's quite a way away. But 20 seconds is a long time. So... can't actually tell if he's pitting. Although, stupidly, I'll be able to tell if someone was pitting by... well, no, I won't. I thought I could look at the pit lane and see if anyone's in the pits, but no. Well, I've definitely lost my mojo a bit, because I was doing like 129s, but I seem to be a bit ragged, hitting curbs and stuff. I mean, I don't think I'm getting any closer. But if I was doing like 129s, I would be on his rear by now. I can hear a Ferrari. He has pitted and come out in front of us all. What? How is that? He must have built so much of a gap. It just seems very strange that I wasn't that far away. So I'm so confused about the. I wasn't 20 seconds behind him at the pit stop. So he must have either opened out a gap, or I've just been dropping or hemorrhaging time to him by being stuck behind people, or. I suppose we'll see in the moderator's report. Oh, I'm thinking I was very lucky there. I don't actually think I was shaping up for a move. Because look how far back I am. So Simon's slow off the went for a gap. He did just leave the door wide open, though. Did he miss a gear or something? That was well watched, though, wasn't it? He saw me coming. And I knew that I was coming at a rate of knots, so I don't know why he was so slow. So we're back up to second. So technically we've not lost anything. We just have to catch a Ferrari. I mean, in the scheme of things, if Simon hasn't pitted yet, which I assume he hasn't, then I was in a net second place before. So lap 16 of 30. Really just got to hold your breath going through there. But that Honda was holding us up, apparently. Because we are now away. So I'm back in the 129s now. But the Ferrari head has done a fastest lap time of 128.3. So he's got pace. I mean, me knowing this in hindsight, yeah, fine. But there would have been no way of me knowing this in the race. You just have to go flat out. There were no crew chiefs back then. Imagine if you could have had, like, crew chief talking about the race when you were racing in Grand Prix Legends. What a difference that would have made. Or even having a spotter. Having a spotter. I really am pushing it into that corner now. I am closing on him. Still not going as fast as I could be going, but it seems I can sense a win. 128.3. I don't know what my personal best at Monaco is. I don't know if I ever got better than a 129.2 in a Cooper, or whether or not I got a better lap time in a Ferrari or not. Well, that was in a Cooper. Crikey, it must be going like the clappers then. It must have been one of those full throttle chicane laps. Just hold your breath and keep it pinned. I mean, that Ferrari is tantalisingly close, isn't it? And I think I was very reluctant to go down to first at the hairpin, just because how difficult it is to get out of the hairpin. You can actually run your front right wheel up on that pavement area, but I was never confident enough to actually do it. Because you've got to be really accurate with how close you get to the wall. I don't know if I ever saved the replays of my fastest ever laps. Maybe I didn't copy that off my disc, because I copied the UKGPL League replays off the discs, and I copied what was the GPL Le Mans League. Still don't know what because I joined another league at this time. I was in the Proles League, Proles. Don't know what that stands for. I mean, it could be Pro League something. Not sure. I remember way back there was a couple of, I wouldn't call them joke leagues, but they used a lot of a play on words, basically. So you had the Australian Racing Sim Enthusiasts. Think of the abbreviation. And then you had the British Racing I don't know what it was abbreviated to though, but basically it was BREASTS. So that Honda is still behind me and it hasn't pitted. We're on lap 20 of 30. And now those two Ferraris. What Ferraris have we got? No, that's a Cooper. So how nice are the lapped car? Is the lap car going to be to me? Did you ever replace for all seasons up until you left? Pretty much, yeah. Because I stopped at season 12. And I think if I didn't have a replay, I went on a hunt for server replays and stuff. And I haven't so far missed any. The only replays that I didn't have player replays for, I have got the server replays for. But it always kind of fills me with a bit of worry, because the last time I did have a server replay was that I didn't finish the race. It's either I didn't finish the race or I didn't save the replay. Oh, it's a yellow flag. I've got to be on a Logitech G25 by now, surely. I mean, the Ferrari is still in view. We've got lap 22 of 30. I mean, I don't know why that Honda is still up my rear end. I'm guessing he just must have played a blinder with strategy. So Hondas must be at the tail end of pit stops, which does seem a bit strange because the Honda is so quick in a straight line. It's a pity there's no kind of telemetry to kind of give you an idea of how far ahead a car is, at least in viewing a replay. Must be cutting it so close to that curb there. Oh, this is gonna get messy. So those are two lapped cars. So we got M Portman. He's currently in 8th, and you've got Dave Allen. He's in 7th, and then you got the leader just in front. So get out of the way. Coming through. It's not often I get the pleasure of having a blue flag waved at somebody. Now the Ferrari is out of He's just in range up the top of the hill, but so he must have got through those lap cars quick smart. I lost technically 3 seconds on that last lap. Oh, dearie me. Dearie me. Bit unpredictable. And now we've got a Honda back on our tail. Is this now Simon Geimer? It is. So obviously he was able to follow through quite quickly because of the lapped car, but I'm now pulled away again. I think this is the most impressive drive, if I don't say so myself, that I've seen at Monaco. Based on my previous outings. I mean, a little ragged here and there, but quite consistent. A little tentative in places. You can see that I was probably thinking a little bit behind the wheel. Trying to be as careful as possible. And I can't remember, maybe you'll be able to tell, Ben, whether you only processed penalties. This might vary per moderator as well, because in some of the moderator reports they've said I've been through the whole replay. Whether you only kind of look at incidents that were reported, or whether you actually look at incidents, all the way through, meaning you have to watch the replay several different times. It's a blur. Can't even remember. Well, you did give me my first penalty points in my first season, so. I think, obviously, this being 7, so we've got. So I did 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I've done 5 seasons so far. I'm then going to do 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So we've got 5 seasons to go after this as well. You forgot you were even a moderator until you told me. Well, it was a long time ago. So we've got 5 seasons to go after this. And I believe there were some competitive. I think I definitely when I felt like I was able to keep up and I wasn't just running in the midfield, then I definitely got a bit more spicy. I was definitely there to compete, not just to make up numbers, if you see what I mean. Not a win at all costs type thing, but I was really into getting good results and not just kind of poodling around. I suppose it stayed with me now. I won't necessarily do a series unless I like the cars and the tracks. Well, I suppose you got a good overview, but it always seemed weird to me if you were using a wheel and you were racing from the chase camera. I'm not sure how I would do that, because it would just seem so counterproductive, if you see what I mean. I think that's the tightest I've taken that hairpin. Right, crossing the line with lap 28 of 30. I think Simon Geimer is either pitted or... No, he's not pitted. He's just not able to keep up with my fast Cooper. Now you wonder at this point, you know how many laps you've got left. You can't really see anybody in your mirror. You can hear a Ferrari, but you can't see a Ferrari. And you know that you're not going to gain 5 seconds on somebody in 2 laps. But it's that thing of you've got to keep up the pace just in case something happens, so that you're there to take advantage of it. So easing off sometimes not really an option. Ooh, there's some skid marks there. Unfortunately. But you can probably hear the Ferrari. Yep, just going past. So you always had an inkling, even if you couldn't see them, particularly on this track, you had an inkling that you were still close to them. It's kind of like Mexico's hairpin. So lap 29, penultimate lap. I don't think I'll be getting any compliments from the moderator though. Well, let's see if any of the little incidents that seem to happen to me rather than because of me. Let's see if the moderator mentions them. Because obviously the moderator has been very annoyed with the quality of racing. Gonna have to miss the next 2 races. I have an invert in the in-laws. I have to check the VOD later. I'm not expecting any backhanded compliments from the moderator. But that was Paul Thurston last year, or last season. I mean, I'm wondering whether it's, at some point I would have met these guys. But I think I only had 1 season with Paul Thurston as a moderator. So I must have gained a little bit of a reputation with him. But I've certainly been on my best behaviour with this season's moderator. Right, last lap. Can't even see a Ferrari up ahead now. I can't remember when I met Paul Thurston actually. I seem to remember maybe it was when we went on a... Oh, I think I remember now. I think we went on a day trip to Brands Hatch. Yeah, Duncan Hogbin. I think I met up with Paul Villiers, probably Glenn Field in the award, And I think Paul Thurston was there at Brands. Oh, pushing it the last lap. Steady now. I think there was probably one other person. I mean, I remember it was around the time that I was at art college. So that would have been 2000. Oh, that would have been year 2000 and... It would have been 2000, I think. Well, there you go. A solid second place. Not bad. Not bad at all. Right. Let's see about the moderator's report. See what it's saying. Let's see maybe if they've cheered up a bit from all of the previous rounds. Okie doke. Right. So. Monaco. So. Graham does come away with a win. He started second, ended up first. I started third, ended up second. Not too bad. Simon Geimer again started seventh, ended up third. So that Honda is good on the strategy. Ralph started fifth, ended up fourth though, and he's Brabham. Right, let's see what the moderator said. Yeah, so that was when is it Tim Whiting or Tom Whiting? Tim Whiting. So that was the instant we saw at the hairpin when I think he just got sucked in and crashed into a backwards. So the other ones we're probably not going to see because that's between P. Adams, Keith Laurie. They were well away from me, and Saxoner was away from me as well. There's a lot of Saxoner stuff. Oh crikey, he's lap 25, lap 29, and then we're back to lap 1 again. So poor David. T. Whiting rear ends N-Wood at the station hairpin. Neil is knocked sideways but recovers immediately, and Tim waits for Neil. Some warp was involved, so I put this down to a racing warp incident. Or he was just chasing my rear end. So is that all I'm going to feature in for this? Oh, crikey, there are so many penalties for this fellow. Where was he? He got penalised 9 places. Wow. I mean, he would have finished 5th? He would have finished 5th? Is that right? Have I got my maths right? He would have been 5th, but because of penalties, he finished at the back? Wow. Nasty. Nasty. Right, okay. So, round... No, that's not what I want. Round 5. Okay, why is the game decided now to pop up the control window? Okay, that's about. Considering it hadn't done that previously. And now it opens. I don't know. Odd. My best track. Is it Zandvoort next? Is it Zandvoort next? can't remember when we last raced at Zandvoort. Were we at Zandvoort last season? I don't know. But I've gone relatively well every single time we've been here. Relatively. So, are we going to be back in the Ferrari? Oh, there's a lot of Coopers. There's some Ferraris up front. There's an Eagle up front, so that's not me. I'm late to the grid. I'm in a Cooper! I'm in a Cooper? Maybe I thought that I can overhaul some of these faster guys from just pace. Interesting. Right, okay. So, Simon Geimer and the Eagle. So, he's going to be taking a hell of a hit in the pit stops. We've got someone that still refuses to change his name. Graham Horton in second in a Ferrari. We've got Derek Jones in a Ferrari in third. We've got Graham Byford in a Cooper in fourth. And we've got me in a Cooper in fifth. Then we got Jonathan Ball in sixth. Ralph Mafe in seventh in a Ferrari. And that's all we've got in view. So, what's the worst that can happen? It's pretty good start, pretty good reaction time. Not as good as the front four, though. Oh, there's a freebie. That was a bit unfortunate that I was caught up behind that. But I've got a freebie. But lost a place because I was waiting up behind that Ferrari. So we're being chased by a Brabham and a Ferrari. So the Ferrari and the Eagle are away in front. And I'm chasing someone that's going to be on my pit strategy, basically. So everyone behind me, if I can keep in front of them, then I'll beat them through the pit stops. So how long am I going to be stuck behind this guy here? Which is letting the leaders get away. It's also letting those two cars behind catch up as well, so... I think that's a... Is that a Cooper in second as well? I think it might be. Oh, I've gone defensive. Or is that me to shake up a pass to put him off? He's the cork in the bottle at the moment. So who we got behind us in the Brabham then? Bishozo. I've not been close to him. Oh, it's my friend Tim Whiting. Let's have a look in cockpit to see what the chase is like. So I'm in a one... Put this in perspective, I did a 1:37 on that lap. And the fastest lap has gone a 1:33. So we're in the slipstream. We're trying to put him off. But the added bonus is I'm defending from behind, coming down the inside there. We're going to have a try of a nip up the side of the hairpin? No, not quite close enough. I think the Brabham has dropped back a bit. So we now did a 129. The leader's done a 127. So this guy is holding me up. Can't ruin the strategy for the top two, really. I'm much closer than I was last lap. It's just a matter of trying to get out of this turn, okay. That's better. Is it going to be a clean pass up to turn 1? It is! We're up to 3rd. Now the chase is on. The chase is on. So, I'm at the hairpin. And they've just come out of the hairpin. Indeed. Like a glove. A neat and tidy pass. So Simon Geimer has just done who's leading at the moment in an Eagle. He's done 126.8. I did my fastest lap of the race of a 128.8. So now that I'm unleashed, what are my lap times going to be? You see how I'm dropping that Cooper behind? I wasted, what, 3 laps being stuck behind that Cooper. I mentioned that the person that gave that other guy a rear ending in turn 1 is going to get a right slap on the wrist from the moderator, who's kind of sick and tired of incidents, it seems. I did a 127.7. Now that I've got clear air. So I'm dropping a second a lap basically, so if I can hold on... Oh, I'm now 2nd place. Why am I 2nd place? Is that an early pit stop? That's either a discount... I'm confused. So Simon is in 12th. That's probably an early pit stop. Either that or he's been forgotten by the server. So lap we'll be going up to do start lap 6 of 27. So we just see the Ferrari in the distance disappearing. That's a 127.10. I'm getting faster. We're getting into a little bit of a rhythm now. So you see, most of the races I've done in these last 2 seasons have been, it's either been a Ferrari or a Cooper. I've never ventured to anything else. They seem to be my chosen cars. So it's either I'm ragging the Cooper around or I'm trying to tame the Ferrari. I also need. You seem to need to be able to keep the average speed up when you're going through these turns. You've got to get the. It's like a flowing rhythm. It seems to be like that. So let's see where they are. So I'm at the hairpin. So again, they're just coming out of the hairpin. So same kind of distance. Not enough to be able to see them on the fast bits though. Whoa. Don't want to do that too much. And I can't remember, in the previous versions of the track where it wouldn't have looked like this. I can't remember the marshals being this visible, whether that's like an add-on thing. Because they are very visible ones with their red bib on. Coming in for our pit stop. Right, 11:14. So I left at 11:22. Oh, for fuck's sake! What was that? I mean, could I have done anything different? I'm exiting the pit lane. I can't do anything about people coming down the straight. I come out of the pits. He decides to pull out. It didn't even look like he slowed down. She slowed down. That's Lucy. Lucy. Right, let's see what she saw. Right, she can't see anything. Right, she sees a Cooper move. She's target fixated on that guy. I think there's a slight break when she thinks that, no, we can't do 3 wide. You can see the car lurch forward a little, but just a bit too late. Wow. Right, so I lost. That's Dave Allen. So I lost 2 places out of that. And now I'm stuck behind a slower car. Why? It probably also means that I've received engine damage. So is there a blown engine in my future? So all that time I gained through the pit stop, I've just lost. I wonder whether I will get blamed for that. I mean, the visibility of me coming out of the pits, how... I can't see as much as the people coming down the straight. So... We're stuck behind the bloody Cooper at the start, and now we're bloody stuck behind a Honda. The last lap was a 1:38, so I lost 11 seconds in that incident. Is he gonna screw it up for me? Right. Are we gaining a bit? It's... not gaining anything in the draft. He just finished it. Cool. Come on, get out of the way! Get out of the way! He would not give it up! He would not give it up! Oh. He would not give it up. I think I deserved room there. Or maybe that was like desperation, but... no, I wasn't really alongside. I had a wheel in there, but... so that's the championship leader behind us. What place is he in? He's in 8th. I mean, I don't know if that was warp contact as well, because he pretty much stayed... oh, you sportsman, you. Why? You let him pass. Why? Curses. But I'm losing 2 seconds a lap behind this guy. Lap 10 of 27. This guy is yet to pit as well. He needs to get out of the way. There we go. I don't think I'm going to get back up to my second place. Fist in the air. I don't know if that's out of frustration or relief. Right, now up to 5th. So I've got time to make up now. So Keith Laurie, I can't remember where he was in the field. And then you got Vizovso, or whatever his name is, who's around the left-right bends. So they are yet. Maybe they have pitted, maybe they haven't. Oh, I'm getting a bit ragged. I'm falling into the same trap. get frustrated and then I... Oh, it's all going wrong. Who's this? Damn it. I'll drive like a man possessed now. Just to get back to the top 5. I have a feeling I'm gonna disagree with the moderator's report. I mean, there all seems to be after like big, kind of climactic race filled with incidents that I have like a break. So this is round 5. So I get a chastising from the moderator. Is it a coincidence that I then don't turn up? Well, yeah, I gave the place back. That's fair. But getting caught up in other people's accidents and then make one of my own and drop myself back like 3 places. But this being round 5, I then don't turn up for round 6 and 7. So am I so pissed off with the moderator that I never turn up for 6 and 7? So looking at my lap time, it was 1:51. I lost nearly 21 seconds. And I lose out in the draft dramatically there. But you can go round the outside if you're brave. If you're brave. You need to have a hell of an overlap when you go around the outside. Although I think on the modern version you can do an outside move. Maybe not on this version. So I actually did my fastest lap of the race following this Ferrari. 1:27.1. So I must have got a hell of a tow. I'm now up to 7th. And we're nearly at half distance. Who's following me? So that Brabham has made a pit stop. They're now behind me. So even though I can get a better exit, the Ferrari just disappears from me. But it's pulling me along. Good luck for the rest of the race. I'll see you next race. I'll check the VOD and watch it later. Watch the rest later. Have fun at your in-laws, Ben. Let's see if I can actually pass this Ferrari. I mean, unless you can sneak one up the inside somewhere with a very willing participant, the only real place to pass is the main straight, and I'm losing out every single time. So unless they make a horrendous mistake coming onto the main straight, then I'm up to 6th place through the pit stops. Still half of the race to go. I'm really ragging this Cooper. Get the nose in and then floor it as much as you can. See how it's just pulling away out of reach. It's been a mixture of caught up in someone else's accident and making my own mistake that's taking me out of second place here. Which is annoying. It's it's annoying 21 years later. I can't do anything about it now. But I did those sequence of turns better. Oh, there's a yellow flag. So I'm in 6th. This is 5th in front. So Derek Jones, span out of 9th place. Oh, we just got through it. That slowed me down though. 16 of 27. Just hoping not to be hassled by that Brabham behind me. I beat the Brabham through the pit stops. Well, saying that, he wasn't in front of me in the first stint. But after my incident, where I got rear-ended on the main straight, but I think the rear-ending on the main straight is probably just going to be judged to probably a racing incident. If I get penalised for it, I'm going to be upset. Even though it was 21 years ago. God, modulating the throttle coming at that. This is the closest I've ever been. And draft is still non-existent with the difference in speed. Did my fastest lap of the race that last time around, 127.1. So he's towing me along. It's still in 6th place, so 5th place. Dave Allen has come out of the pits in front of me. That's the guy that I struggled to get past before. Oh, annoying. Oh, he's made a mistake. I couldn't capitalise on it. I mean, this is definitely like one of those races where you'd go over the finish line and you'd be like glad it's over, because it's just a race-long battle like this. I mean, if I got past, I don't know if I could stay ahead. I could maybe beat him through the twisties. But if he got a draft onto the main straight, I'd be left for dead. But can we catch this Honda ahead of us that's beat us out the pit stops? I mean, you kind of think what might have been, really, don't you? And you look back at these races, you're like, oh, I should have done this, should have done that. If only I hadn't had that incident, you know. Now you watch Ralph get past that Honda and then me struggle. So we're doing like 128s, 127s. That Honda is in the 128s. So definitely got some pace on it. But I don't know if the Cooper can draft past a Honda. Evident from last time out, I had to wait for a mistake. But he is dropping back towards us. So 5th place might be on the cards here. Might be able to grab a top 5 out of this disastrous race. Showing ourselves in the mirror. Because of course the Cooper is better on the brakes than the Ferrari is. Whoa! Really caught us out there. Dave Allen is going to have a ferocious Ferrari and a Cooper behind him in a minute. Definitely getting the car turned though. Got a flow going. It's like a little a kind of a lip, I suppose, at the start of the banking of the corners that you have to be in front of. Oh, good exit onto the straight. Dragging me all the way along. Beat him on the brakes. Ah, not quite. Block pass! Block pass! Yes! I don't think we locked up at all. I suppose we can check now, can't we? Let's see how... That was definitely on the edge. Did we lock up at all? We didn't. Looking at that. That was just purely braking power. Look at this. We did... jump over the curb a little, but we back onto the racing line. Not bad. So we're back up to 5th on merit. And let's see if we can stay ahead of this damn Ferrari whilst we try and get ahead of this Honda. For the 2nd time. Lap 20 of 27. Now, trying to overtake this Honda whilst there's a Ferrari right behind me. This is going to be very difficult. Because this Honda is all over the place, to say the least. It's now a 4-car fight for 4th place. I'm having to be so close to even be in the running to draft up the straight. I have to go defensive. I've got no option. But I'm going to beat him on the brakes. Got to give me the space. Got to give me the space. Ah, he lost out to the Brabham. Now I know I can pull away from the Brabham. I mean, I was right up against the curb there. I couldn't go any tighter. I don't know why it says I'm still in 6th place. Is this a lap? This can't be a lap car. No, this is 4th place. Come on, Dave. I passed you last time. Getting out of the way. I want my 4th place back. No, that was silly. That was silly. Why even attempt it? You know you can't get past at that corner. Why even have a go? And now that Ferrari has passed Brabham again. Because you messed up the straight. Now we have our eye in for the braking in turn 1. Now we've been able to brake really, really late. It's just... I think I'm putting him off a little. But we're now in the 129s. Now I'm following this Honda. He's so off the pace. He's just slow in all the wrong places. Let's hope he goes off the track. No, not quite enough room there. Makes me vulnerable to the Ferrari, slowing up in this section there. Really got to be on his tail to even have a hope of going down the inside of turn 1. So I'm hooking up these last corners so well. So you can afford to stay in the Honda's draft here. On the brakes, on the brakes, on the brakes, on the brakes, on the brakes. That was a bit naughty of him, I thought. We basically changed direction at the braking zone there. Why? What? He came to a stop. What? Why did he come to a stop? It didn't look like he was out of shape. But his car just... What? What is going on? It just looked... I was following the momentum of the corner, and then the Honda just suddenly came back towards me. Lap 23 of 27. This race has been a bit of a mess. I can't really think that I could do anything different there. I really do hope I pass this car. He's so slow off the corner. Beat him on the brakes. Now he's gone defensive now. It's so slow in that corner. And he'd rear-ended him again. 24 of 27. 3 laps to go. Come on, Neil, of 21 years ago. Pass this car. We're now in the 130s. We're 3 seconds off the pace. So much faster than this car. Right. Slipstream, come on. It's got a better exit than me out of the straight. Onto the straight. On the brakes. Not close enough. Yes! But I can't capitalise. He's actually a swell on the braking to turn 1, which makes it extra dodgy. He's braking, but he's coming towards the inside of the corner. Which, if you're on the inside and you're braking and you can brake a bit better, it's someone that does that and fades to the inside. What can you do? The chat does work. I'm seeing your messages. Yeah. But you can see that Dave ahead is rattled. But the fact that I'm 2 seconds a lap faster and I just cannot find a way by. I usually like to let them make their own mistakes as long as I'm not caught up in it. But I have to be, because I'm in a slower car, I have to be so close to his rear end to even have a hope of staying within draft's distance to be able to outbrake into turn 1, because it's literally only one place to pass. And if he goes defensive, then I can't do it. So I'd beat him on the brakes here if I was brave enough. How much space did he leave me? Not a lot. And in these days of warpy cars... Look at that. You see how he's moving over as well? From the... I don't know if that's warp or... He should be on that line over there. He shouldn't be fading towards me at all. Because I am there. I mean, I can't think that many of these drivers are still using dial-up in 2003. Most of them should have moved to broadband. But it's the netcode of Grand Prix Legends which was all over the place. So you can't tell if he was braking in a straight line or not. But that is dangerous stuff. Because I'm there, but I'm running out of space even though I've got prime position. And I can't do anything else but just hold on to the brake and aim for the apex. So I don't know what they would have seen from their screen, but because they would have seen my front wheels right there. And again, what we wouldn't have been using like widescreen monitors and stuff back then. It probably would have been 4x3. So we would have had like a really blinkered vision. So looking at this in hindsight on a widescreen aspect ratio, see, look how much would have pulled out just by 2 or 3 corners. And now it's lap 26 of 27. And third place is all the way down the road into the final 2 turns then. What might have been? What might have been? I imagine I am going to feature a lot in the Model A report. When I did have a race like this before where I was blamed for being over-aggressive, I'm probably going to get blamed for being over-aggressive. But I mean, yeah, the last time I got pinned in the moderator support for being over aggressive was at Mossport, and they said I was too close to the car in front around a particular corner, but I was lining someone up for a pass. It was just the accident happened. It was because I had come out of turn 2. I was directly under their rear. They got a little bit of oversteer. I kept it pinned, and I was heading to the only gap there would have been, which was on the inside to turn 3. But they decided to not give me any space, but I was blamed for it. You crashed out someone in the Canadian Grand Prix in 1982 today. You did a turbo Senna move. I've got to continue my watching of the 1985 season. I'm nearly finished with it. Only got like 3 races to go. I haven't got up to 1990 yet, so I don't know. So, final corner. So I'm guessing that must be Keith Lorry that's finished there. Well, what might have been... As they say, I should have lifted. Blame the turbo. Oh, I mean, I had good battles with Ralph there in the Ferrari. I just have a really big feeling that I'm going to feature a lot in the moderator support. So here we go. Let's brace ourselves. What did they say? So the just to kind of run down, I had, so round 1 I got a 4th, which was at Watkins Glen. Round 2 at Mexico I got a 2nd place. Round 3 at Kyalami I had an absolute nightmare, back to 8th. Monaco last time out I had a great race up to 2nd. And here we go for Zandvoort. So, Zandvoort. So this is the 25th of May in 2003. So, Graham was pretty much untouched in front. We were battling with Jonathan Ball at the start. I think Jonathan was the one that actually passed me at the start because I was stacked up against a Ferrari that had rear-ended somebody. But it doesn't look like there's any penalties here, so I'm still in 4th. So that's good. Let's see. Oh, so there is a penalty for Lucy Wong. So maybe she did get penalised for rear-ending me. And the 6th place penalty for Simon Guyman as well. Maybe he's the one that rear-ended someone. Okay, let's see where. So Derek Jones gets penalty for rear-ending Simon Guyman. 3 places penalty for him. Lap 1. As he rejoins, nudges. Oh, so Derek Jones was the one that rear-ended Simon Guyman. So I was stacked up. So when the start happened, I was on the left. I stayed on the left. But there was a Ferrari in front of me and an Eagle in front of him. Now, Derek Jones in the Ferrari rear-ended the Eagle and punted him off the first corner. He then slowed down because he wanted to obviously let the other guy rejoin in front of him. But what it did do was it stacked up everyone else behind him, and I was one of the ones on the outside, and it made someone sneak up on the inside of me, so I lost a place. So I could have gained 2 places at the start, but in fact I gained 2 places but lost 1. So gained 1. So bad. Simon Guy, bad rejoin plus rear ending, 6 places lost. So insult to injury, he gets rear ended, and then he rear ends somebody else. T won't lose control, blah, blah, blah. Right, here we go. So Enwood leaves the pits as Lucy Bond pulls out to pass Dave Allen into turn 1. This is not a straightforward incident, since both Lucy and Neil could have avoided it. How exactly? How exactly could I have avoided it? If you think about it from my point of view, so the mirrors that I would have seen, so coming out of the pits onto the main straight, I could probably see in my mirror one car. I could have seen one car, and the fact that Lucy pulled out and maybe tried to squeeze 3 wide down the main straight, and then only backed off when it was too late to fit 3 wide. I can't do anything else. What could I have done? Waited? Because I wasn't to know that there was going to be 2 people, like one person that had just pulled out and was going to pass another. How would I have known? Because you can't see that far behind in the tiny little mirrors you got. So Dave was spun out by the incident, but held the racing line as he's been entitled to and did nothing wrong. In Lucy's case, although she was entitled to attempt the pass, she would have seen Woody's PO message, so pit out message. And his car was visible. Exactly. She could see more than I can. So all I can see is a few pixels in the mirror to try and ascertain what's coming down the straight at me. She can see everything. So I looked at it from her cockpit. She was obviously focused on the car in front to make a pass. So she pulled out. She then saw my Cooper coming out of the pits. I couldn't have gone any further right. What she could have done was braked and then swerved back in. But no, she decided to full throttle it and think, I can make that 3 wide. Oh no, I can't. And then rear-ended me. So it's Honda. Although it's very difficult in heating mode, it would have been safer to tuck back in behind Dave. Exactly. However, Woody could not have known there were 2 cars approaching side by side. Of course! Until after he had left the pit lane, so I can't find his decision to rejoin. And although they were clearly visible in his mirrors once he was on track, realistically there was neither enough time or room for him to get out of their way. How could I get out of their way? Ambitious overtake mitigated by... Oh, fuck off! I don't think mine was a bad rejoin at all. There was no way I could have seen 2 cars overtaking each other coming up the main straight. Enwood brakes a little too late for the T4 output and knocks Day Allen aside, but waits for him to pass before continuing, so I don't get a penalty for that. Good. Am I going to get mentioned another time? Does not appear to have taken the projection. Enwood rear ends Darren into T3. Enwood spins, but Allen continues immediately. On a final note, there were a few comments about blocking on the straight by driving down the centre line. This is particularly frustrating as Zandvoort because it's the only real passing opportunity. While I didn't see any specific case that would warrant a penalty, would all drivers please check the rules on this? Be aware that blocking carries a 3+ penalty. Now, me personally, if I suppose maybe rules have changed a bit, but if I'm in front, I can dictate where the racing line is. So whether I'm coming up the main straight on the left, the centre, or the right, that's my choice to make. The difference is if you start kind of deviating your line when you're on the main straight, or braking and then fading across onto the braking area. That's another. So the next 2 rounds I do not do. For whatever reason, I didn't turn up. So this is the next round will be at Spa, which is the 8th of June. So Graham Horton comes away with that win. He started 7th and ended up winning that one. So a bit of a penalty for... Oh, it's a penalty for Jonathan Ball that knocked him out of the lead. Hang on a second. I finished 8th. I didn't have the replay for that one. Started 10th, ended 8th. But way far... Look, it's Spa, so someone finished with 35 seconds behind. I finished 55 seconds behind. And the person behind me finished 1 minute and 4 seconds. So I was on my own. So I did turn up. I just don't have the replay for it. What I'm going to do... I'm going to ask Ben. Do you have the replay? Server replay of Season 7 Div 3 round 6 or 5? What is it, round 5 or 6? Round 6. So I got some points out of that. What car was I in? I was back in my Ferrari as well. I should have done well there. But it was a Ferrari that won. Brabham, Eagle, Brabham, Ferrari, Eagle, Ferrari. Littered with. And all of the Coopers and BRMs. Well, there was a lot of Eagles that finished down the order. So, was I mentioned in the penalty report at all? Oh, here we go. Lap 2. N Wood spins out and comes to rest across the racing line. Unfortunately, Important just clips the stationary car and spins out. Woody does a stop and go straight after. So, obviously, I could have done better if it wasn't for spinning onto the racing line. And that's it. So, Rouen. Let's see if I turn up for this one as well. I got a 3rd! So, round 6 Spa and round 7. Interesting. So I started 11th at Rouen and finished 3rd. What happened? Let's see. So how far behind was I? So race time 49.8, 52. I was only 2 seconds behind that Brabham there. But considering I started from 11th, that's pretty cool. Another gripping race to watch with plenty of close racing and battles for position all the way down the field. Unfortunately, the price you pay for close racing is quite a few racing incidents. But the stand the driving overall was excellent. Congratulations to Derek Jones for a well-deserved win. You can practically see the sweat pouring off his forehead in the replay. Let's see if I was mentioned. Oh, here we go. Lap 7. G. Horton swerves to avoid Edwin as Woody leaves the pits. Woody kept to the right and left as much room as possible for Graham. But bear in mind that even if you're racing for position, you should give way to high-speed traffic as you leave the pits. I'll call it as a racing incident since Graham could have held onto it, but Woody should have backed off. There's no way he could have stayed ahead of Graham. Enwood had been holding off Jay Ball and D Jones for several laps when Derek manages to get alongside John under braking for Skewy. So obviously I was ahead of these guys. They eventually finished ahead of me, so I might have been leading for a bit. But leaves it a little too late. Woody jinks to the left to avoid Derek's out-of-control car, but unfortunately unsettles John as the three of them brake for the turn. Had any of them drivers collided, I would have called it an overambitious passing attempt by Derek. But since there was no contact, I put it down as a racing incident. Although ideally Woody shouldn't have moved towards John, but he was doing so to avoid Derek rather than as a blocking move. Anything else? Oh, J-Ball and once again side by side under braking for Skewy. I wonder where Skewy is. Woody is ahead into the corner but runs wide. John tries to take the advantage by tucking inside, but a slight warp knocks Woody sideways and takes them both out. So things happened in those races, and unfortunately I don't get to see them. That's bloody annoying. That's bloody annoying. Right, I'm back. I've got the game to run, but I think I've unfortunately run out of time to do anything with it because I've got to prepare for my hill climb race that's coming up. I'm hoping I've got the right... Yeah, I have, yeah. There seems to be a lot of people on the Discord for the... Makes me kind of think that I'm missing something. That I haven't turned up the right time, or... There's not a lot of people on. So I think a lot of people just in practice. So I've got to get my eye in for that. So I'm probably just going to end the stream here. So it kind of ended up with a damp squib there. It just kept... I tried to keep starting up Grand Prix Legends, and it completely forgot my settings. So I deleted the player file and just started from scratch, really. I don't know why it would have forgotten anything. I normally assume it's something to do with permissions or something, but never mind. Right, so I'm going to be back in about half an hour, I think. I need to check the schedule, actually. So what we're doing tonight is we're going to be doing a hill climb. I've not done a hill climb before, so apologies in advance because there's going to be a lot of waiting around for this. I'm going to be doing where are we? Trying to find the spreadsheet. So it says qualifying starts at 6:30. And then the racing, well, I say racing. So there's going to be a little bit of waiting time. Because the real thing is going to start at 7:00. But I need to get as many runs in as I can. So I'll start the stream at 6:00. And then we'll be going from there. But there is apologies in advance because there's going to be a lot of waiting around, and I probably will try and view other people's runs, but I've got to pay attention to what they're saying on Discord about running times, and because it's going to be a case of knowing when I will be setting off. But it's my first ever hill climb, and I've done a couple of runs on it, and yeah, it's interesting. So we're going. It's a French hill climb. So it's going to be a lot of waiting around for just 3 minutes, but it's the Virtual World Sports Car Series, so I'm going to be running in a Porsche 904. I don't know how competitive I'll be. It makes a little bit of a difference from racing, but yeah, I'll see. I know the next stream says 20 hours, but the next stream will be in half an hour or so. But yeah, I'll see you back here in about half an hour.